Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Tuesday, May 17th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. Approximately 400 Vincentians gained full-time employment with the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line after a job recruitment drive at Beachcombers from May 13th to 15th. Providing an update on the recent Memorandum of Understanding signed between Royal Caribbean International Group and SVG, at a news conference today, Minister of Tourism Carlos James said up to 2,000 Vincentians will get the opportunity to gain employment with the cruise line.
And that is within that short period, 400 persons have already been employed, and employed on the spot, in a sense that they've met all of the requirements and has been offered a space with the Royal team to go off to on a vessel, hopefully during the start of the upcoming season. The recruitment drive was fast-tracked from the regular employment process that usually takes place with Royal Caribbean. Successful applicants were interviewed, pre-screened by a medical team on spot, and the job offer was presented to them once the necessary background checks were completed. And those new employees will be entered into the Royal Caribbean system, as I indicated, and will go off in the upcoming season.
Royal Caribbean Cruise Line is expected to facilitate training for those recruited, which Minister James said is a significant development for the local tourism sector.
For the cruise industry, significant development for persons or stakeholders and employees within the tourism sector. Because part of the arrangement is that Royal Caribbean will facilitate training for a number of the persons who are being recruited for this exercise. We do have a significant shortage of trained personnel within the tourism sector. It continues to be a challenge, not just in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but across the EC Islands. And having as much as 2,000 persons going off to Royal Caribbean to take up different specialty positions and entry-level positions, and being able to be afforded the opportunity for training, I think is also a significant part of this exercise.
The tourism minister said there will be another recruitment drive in late June to early July. He said this time over 1,500 Vincentians will be selected to work with the cruise line. He said the recruitment drive will be extended to the red and orange zone.
One of the important things I note in my discussions with Royal Caribbean, I said we have a number of persons who are going to, especially from the red and orange zones in North Leeward and North Windward, we're going to apply. And it is going to be very difficult in the recruitment exercise for them to pay an application fee to a number of the recruitment agencies that they will normally go through in Barbados and other countries, even here locally in St. Vincent. The application process for a visa and travel to the embassy in Barbados also will pose some challenges. And we're just recovering from the explosive eruption of the last affair, just a year into our recovery, and we do still have significant challenges. And we came to the conclusion that all of these arrangements, we will see minimal cost, if there is any cost at all, significantly reduced costs.
Meanwhile, Minister James said that persons who are not selected to work on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line will get the opportunity to go on the Sandals programs, as they are planning on recruiting 500 Vincentians.
Looking at recruiting 500 persons to go off on the Sandals program as well. So even those who may not meet the requirements for the Royal Caribbean program, recruitment program, Sandals is still looking for another 400 plus persons. So far, I think maybe over 100 plus persons have gone off. And they, over a period of time, will be taking persons off for training. And we continue to explore different and other avenues for employment for persons within the sector. I know there are some conversations currently with an overseas company in Europe looking at the possibility of some recruitment as well for trained and unskilled persons within the tourism sector. And I want to emphasize the importance of this activity.
The tourism minister noted that the idea is to get more people out of SVG on these employment opportunities so that they will come back with more experience to work in the country at the 5-star hotels in the making.
The idea is to get more persons out on these exercises of employment and so on, but to have them come back to St. Vincent, because we're going to have Royal Mill, Sandals, Marriott, Black Sands, a number of major hotels here on mainland. Some of them are going to be 4- and 5-star hotels that would require a particular type of training. And we intend and we hope that a number of persons who then go off to have the entry level and even advanced training while working at the same time will return to St. Vincent in a few years when these hotels are completed and operationalized to take up positions and jobs within the sector. There's ongoing training through the technical vocational centers and also the community college. But the amount of people, for instance, beaches alone, Beaches by Sandals Resort, it's about 1,000 people they're looking to recruit during the operational phase.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is predicting that there will be increased participation in Vincimas 2022. This will be the first carnival for SVG since the start of the global pandemic in 2020, and events are being staged under COVID-19 protocols. Speaking on WeFM's Issues at Hand program on Sunday, Prime Minister Gonsalves said Vincentians will no doubt be looking forward to letting off steam after experiencing a rough 2 years.
What is going to be important in this carnival is mass participation, with people having a sense of release after a couple years where we have had to cope with COVID. You know what happened with us with La Soufrière, with the volcanic eruption. It has not been an easy time. So I think that our people would love to have a release, and you're beginning to see that. I sense you're going to have big participation.
The Prime Minister, however, cautions that the public should not let their guard down, as the island is still in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Because we are not out of the woods yet with the COVID, and we should still be encouraging, and very much so encouraging people to take the vaccine. But I think at the moment we probably have either 1 or 2 persons in hospitals. Our numbers went up a little bit, came down back. It would cease up. Yeah. Not large numbers, but enough to remind us that we are not out of the woods.
As of May 14th, SVG currently has 84 active cases of COVID-19, with 1 person being hospitalized. The President of India, Ramnath Kovind, is expected to arrive in SVG tomorrow for a 4-day visit. The President and his delegation are expected to touch down at the Argyle International Airport at 1 p.m. During his state visit, President Kovind is expected to meet with his counterpart, Governor General Dame Susan Duggan, as well as Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and other dignitaries. There will also be a special sitting of the House of Assembly on Thursday morning to be addressed by the Indian President, who is expected to sign various agreements with SVG. President Kovind will also plant a sandalwood spalling at the Botanical Gardens and will be the keynote speaker at a ceremony in Calder renaming a street Indian Drive. He will also visit a number of Indian development projects on the island and meet with the local Indian community. Under the auspices of the Cricket Association, the Indian President will also distribute cricket gear to ambitious young cricketers. SVG and India collaborated extensively during SVG's stint on the United Nations Security Council in 2021 and 2022. The Indian President is currently in Jamaica, from where he will travel to SVG tomorrow. Residents of Walvaroo are said to be in shock following news that the body found last Thursday in a bag in Richmond Hill was that of 17-year-old Precious Williams. Our news team visited the Sion Hill community earlier today and spoke with neighbors of the Williams family who are grieving over the death of Precious. We hear more in this report.
And I like how she's so young and use her life. It's very, very hard. So I am telling you, mother, give faith. It is a world that we are in. We have to keep faith though. It is faith that we are living with. So Russ, take it light.
Tears have been flooding the Walvaroo community ever since it was announced that a decomposing body found in the Richmond Hill area is young Precious Williams. Residents say they are lending their full support to Precious's mother, Julian Rass Williams, during this difficult time, and they will not be placing any criticism on her for the tragic circumstances, as they say many other people have been doing.
Give Precious mother some time to handle it. Let nobody fight her down. Try to bring more stress on her. Encouragement is what she needs. And the community is well 24/7 behind her.
Precious is remembered by residents as mannerly, intelligent, and quiet. Neighbors say they are especially saddened by the brutal way in which the young lady was killed. According to police, Precious died as a result of an injury to her throat, and there were lacerations about her body.
Precious is a very intelligent little girl. I like her from the day I see her to now. If she passing going on the road, I will say, Precious, she will wave she hand to me, and she gone. When I hear yesterday it was Precious, I said, well, are they really telling me Precious? They say, yes, it is Precious. I could not have stand up, and I couldn't sit down. My whole body get weak, and just trembling. I was to go doctor this morning to check my pressure. I said, I can't make it.
When I overheard it, I really want to know who's so brutal to do those things. She ain't her body. Where you going to trap she for? What she do so wrong? If you match her and she die and say going dead, because she was so quiet and cool. She go where she going and she come back. She go school, she come back. The farthest she used to go is if she going with her mommy. Sometimes she hardly go by the shop.
Opposition Member of Parliament for the East Kingstown area, Dwight Fitzgerald Bramble, called on Vincentians to desist from criticizing the Williams family for the tragic incident.
It hadn't really hit home as yet. And one can only imagine, unless you have experienced something like this before, you can only imagine what she's been going through. This is a very tough situation for anybody. And I think at this point in time, we, as best as we could as a community, as a nation, should really just reach out and give the mom and the family the support and the love that is needed at this time. There's no need for us to get into speculations and criticism about anything, really. This is a woman who's hurting. And I think at this point in time, all she needs is the love, the support, and the attention.
A candlelight vigil will be held for Precious on Saturday, May 21st at the Sion Hill playing field at 6 p.m. Persons are encouraged to wear white. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Christina Smith.
The identification of the 17-year-old last Thursday shook the hearts and minds of the residents of her home community of Walvaroo and surrounding areas in East Kingstown, including the MP Fitzgerald Bramble, who knew Precious. Bramble took the time to plead with the Vincentian community to extend their love and support to the family of the deceased, who is going through a trying time. He used the opportunity to extend an invite to the general public to a vigil which will be held for Precious over the weekend.
Country and East Kingston in particular is still trying to recover from what we just discovered was the brutal and gruesome murder of a young lady from Walvaroo, from the East Kingston constituency. So I want to use this opportunity to extend to her mom, Jillian, Precious's mom, Jillian Williams, and her immediate family, her not so immediate family, and to all the constituents of East Kingston in particular. My deep condolences to all of them. Asking to wear a white shirt, white t-shirt, whatever, and bring a candle. And it starts, they will be gathering at 6 o'clock on Saturday down at the Sion Hill playing field. And I think they're going to make a small walk up the gap in Walvaroo where Precious' mom and her reside, and stuff. So as I get information, I will continue to share it. But you know, it's a really sad situation.
Bramble also spoke about criticisms he received after posting a video on social media seated with the mother of Precious Williams after her identification was made known. Bramble said he was criticized by persons who saw this act as something beyond what it was meant to be.
Country and East Kingston in particular is still trying to recover from what we just discovered was the brutal and gruesome murder of a young lady from Walvaroo, from the East Kingston constituency. So I want to use this opportunity to extend to her mom, Jillian, Precious's mom, Jillian Williams, and her immediate family, her not so immediate family, and to all the constituents of East Kingston in particular. My deep condolences to all of them. Asking to wear a white shirt, white t-shirt, whatever, and bring a candle. And it starts, they will be gathering at 6 o'clock on Saturday down at the Sandals Recruitment. And I think they're going to make a small walk up to the gap in Walvaroo where Precious' mom and her reside, and stuff. So as I get information, I will continue to share it. But, you know, it's a really sad situation.
The friends of Ajante Woods are wondering what went wrong on their usual Sunday lime at the beach. Woods, also known as Cox, was pulled from the waters of Indian Bay on Monday afternoon by the Coast Guard. The 23-year-old was reported missing on Sunday after they were unable to locate him on the beach. Our news team visited the Bel Air community today, where his friends shared fond memories of the youth, who they say was a talented musician and had pledged to turn his life around and make a name for himself. One of his friends, Cameron, tells our news team that the group was drinking and liming on the sand when Woods left to go to another part of the beach. The group was preparing to leave when they realized that Woods was nowhere to be found.
I was been on the beach, normal Sunday. When I really noticed that everybody in the day, it was I kind of too late because the place was done already, dusting in. But I say now, for the beach so lively, well, Mr. damn, I like a cat or something not too still now. So I say, well, let breeze a while fine already. Everybody slipper was in one spot, everybody gatherings one spot. So when we gather now that, when we calling everybody name, who they hear, who no cocks. Slippers did it, phone did it, clothes did it. No cocks.
Cameron says the group had the idea to search the water, but the loss of sunlight prevented that.
Anybody see if cocks were in the water? That went after now that before we been there. When we go down and look for him, for say he gone in a little region with a girl, nothing like that. So but it been late now, so we can't really see any water for say if he really did in the water to still now. So we wait about half an hour before we go off the beach. Walk on the lovers then we go down by the next side where they had a party down on the right hand side of the beach. We go back out by the other left hand side, call out cocks, no cocks. So we say, boy, just believe that he did buy a catty and he go meet her up. She say, watch out there. Coast Guard on the water. I said, Jesus Christ. The last word we them guys say, because I didn't know, I didn't see go in the water. Them guys tell me go in the water. You go and take a bait. When I look so, discover the body. And then I'm the drunk.
Cameron added that they are all saddened that they were unable to prevent the tragic incident, adding that it is unfortunate that Woods did not get to live out his dream of being a musical star.
Hot. Nobody can even stick up right now for say everybody who don't know? Don't know. But who know? And who know? This nigga used to line wrong away. Cool, humble. Because look, she can change your life. He say he can change your life.
Woods' cause of death has not yet been confirmed. And 2 men were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting incident yesterday evening in the Upper New Montrose area. Dead are Elon Barber and Daniel Scarrett, both of New Montrose. The two killings bring to 17 the number of homicides in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the year thus far. Currently hospitalized with gunshot injuries are Omar Sutherland and Delbert Hadley. Reports are that the men were on the public road in the area when two masked gunmen approached them and opened fire. An ex-police officer was on the scene reportedly and opened fire on the gunmen and shot one of them. The shooting incident is under police investigation. Jason Cato, a 44-year-old prison officer of Hopewell, has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of corruption. A police report says, according to investigations, the accused, having been employed in the public service and being charged with the performance of duties by virtue of such employment, corruptly attempted to receive property, namely money, for himself on account of something to be afterward done in the discharge of his duties of his office. Cato was also charged for agreeing with Abicia Humphrey that a course of conduct shall be pursued, which, if the agreement was carried out in accordance with their intention, would have necessarily amounted to the commission of the criminal offense of conveying a prisoner prohibited article at Belle Isle on May 11th. Cato appeared before the Kingstown Magistrates Court to answer to the charges and pleaded not guilty. He was granted bail in the sum of $6,000 with one surety. The matter was adjourned to June 22nd. In another police matter, Justgil Latine, a 38-year-old domestic worker of Beckway, was arrested and charged with the offense of perjury. The accused, allegedly having lawfully been sworn as a witness in proceedings at the Serious Offences Court, willfully made a statement that in the proceedings that she knew to be false and did not believe to be true on October 18, 2018. The accused appeared before the Kingstown Magistrates Court to answer to the charge and pled not guilty. She was granted bail in the sum of $2,500 with one surety, and the matter was adjourned to August 30th.